Hello, dear student. In part 2, chapter 2 is Matter Around Us Pure. We will discuss following contents. What is suspension? What are colloids or colloidal solution? What is the Tyndall effect? Classification of colloids. How to separate component of a mixture. So let's discuss all this topic with suitable examples. So question is, what is a suspension? Suspension is formed when two or more substances are mixed non-uniform manner. It means suspension make a heterogeneous system. So properties of suspension is it is a heterogeneous mixture, and we can see the particle of suspension with naked eyes, and we can see the path of light through the particle of suspension. But condition is that when the particles of suspension suspended throughout the solution, in that way we can see the path of light. Otherwise, when the particles are settled down, we cannot see the path of light, because particles cannot scatter the beam of light, so we cannot see the path of light, and it does not show the Tyndall effect. And the next property is particles of suspension tends to settle down when left undisturbed. So it is a unstable solution, because when we left undisturbed, particles are settled down, so it is unstable, and they can be separated by using simple filtration. So next type of solution is colloidal. So what are colloidal and colloidal solution? A colloidal solution or colloids is a uniform solution of two or more substances, but it make a heterogeneous system but look like a homogeneous mixture, but actually it is a heterogeneous mixture, because the concentration of solution is not equal everywhere. So the properties of colloids are heterogeneous in nature, and then particle of colloid cannot seen through naked eyes, because particle size is less than as compared to suspension, and then particles scatter a beam of light pass through colloid and produce a Tyndall effect. So we know that the Tyndall effect, when we beam of light pass through the colloidal solution, its particle size enough so it scatter the beam of light and make a visible path, and this phenomena is known as Tyndall effect. Next, colloid are stable in nature, but actually it is quite stable, because the concentration, when we left undisturbed, concentration settle down, so it is quite stable, and then particle of colloids do not settle down. If left undisturbed, only the concentration is settled down. Particle size of colloid are very small, and we cannot able to see through naked eyes, so we cannot able to separate colloid particles by the simple filtration method. We use the method for separating particles of colloid, centrifugation method. In this method, colloidal sample take an centrifugation equipment and rotate at a high speed with the help of electricity, and in this way this denser particle settle down, and then lighter particle make a upper layer, and in this way we can able to separate the colloidal particle from its diffusion medium. The next question is, what is Tyndall effect? So we are already discussed about the Tyndall effect. When a beam of light passes through a colloidal particle, the colloid particles scatter the beam of light, and we can see the path of light in solution. So see this activity. In this activity, a beam of light pass in a true solution and in colloidal solution. In true solution, beam of light pass without scattering, because the particle size is very small, and its particle size is not enough to scatter the light. But in Colloidal solution, the particle size is enough size to scatter the light and make a visible path, and this phenomena is known as Tyndall effect. So basically the Tyndall effect is a property of colloidal solution, and in some time suspension also shows the Tyndall effect when the particles are suspended throughout the solution. For example, when a ray of light enter in dark room, it is scattered by dust particle present in air. So dust particle also are colloidal particles, and it scatter the beam of light and make a visible path, and we can see in path of light clearly. See this picture. And also this type of phenomena also we can see in the denser forest area. The particle dust particle and then also the water droplets scatter the beam of light and make a visible path, and this phenomena is known as Tyndall effect. Classification of colloids. So first we have to understand about the component of colloids. In true solution having two component, solute and solvent. Similarly, colloids having also two component, dispersion phase and dispersion medium. Dispersion phase same as solute, and then dispersion medium same as the solvent. It means the dispersion medium present in a greater amount, and then dispersion phase present in a lesser amount. So dispersed phase, the dispersed particle or solute like component in a colloid, and dispersing medium, the substance in which this solute like particle are added. So generally dispersion medium always present in a greater amount, greater quantity. Common examples of colloids. This classification is based on the dispersion phase and dispersion medium. So let's see the different type of colloidal systems. When the dispersed phase is liquid and dispersed medium is gas, make the aerosol type colloidal system. For example, fog, cloud and mist. In fog, water droplets is a dispersed phase and air is dispersion medium. Next, colloidal system, when the dispersed phase is solid and dispersion medium is gas, make also the aerosol type colloidal system. For example, smoke, automobile exhaust. So here dispersed in smoke, dispersed phase is a dust particle and dispersion medium is air. Next, colloidal system, when dispersed phase is gas and dispersion medium is liquid, and then type of colloidal is foam. For example, shaving cream. So here bubbles shaving cream, air bubbles is formed, and in liquid dispersion medium. Next, colloidal system, when both dispersed phase and dispersion medium are liquid, that type of colloidal system is called emulsion. For example, milk and face cream. Next, colloidal system, when dispersed phase is solid and dispersion medium is liquid, that type of colloidal is called sol. For example, milk of magnesia, antacid is and then mud is also the example of that type of sol. And next, colloidal system, when the dispersed phase is gas, the dispersion medium is solid. For example, foam. Then example, foam, rubber, sponge, pumic stone, etc. are example of that type of colloidal system. Next, colloidal system, when dispersed phase is liquid and dispersion medium is solid, and make a gel type of colloidal system. For example, jelly, cheese and butter. Next, colloidal system, the dispersed phase is solid and dispersed medium also solid, and make a solid sol colloidal system. For example, colored gemstone and milky glass, the example of solid sol colloidal system. And gas type colloidal system does not make, because when we gas mix it they form the homogeneous system, but actually colloidals are heterogeneous system. So dispersion, when dispersion medium and dispersion phase both are gas, it does not form a colloidal system. Distinguish between true solution, suspension and colloids. So on the basis of properties, we can distinguish all three type of solution. So first is nature of mixture. True solution make a homogeneous mixture, suspension make heterogeneous mixture, and colloid solution make a also makes a heterogeneous mixture, but it's look like homogeneous, but actually it is a homogeneous mixture. So particle size of the true solution is less than 1 nanometer, and suspension particle size is more than 100 nanometer, and colloidal particle size is in between 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. So its particle size in between the true solution and suspension particle size. Next, sedimentation. True solution solute particle does not settle down, so it is stable, and then suspension particles settle down when we left undisturbed, so it is unstable solution. And then colloidal do not settle down, but its concentration settle down, so it is quite stable. Diffusion, diffuse quickly, and in suspension unable to diffuse, and then colloidal diffuse slowly. Then visibility, in true solution particle invisible when we dissolve, for example when we dissolve sugar in water, after the dissolution we cannot able to see the particles. And then in suspension particle visible by naked eyes or under microscope also, we can easily able to see the particles of suspension. And then colloidal particles enough to size to scatter the beam of light and then make a visible path, and we can observe by the under ultra microscope, because its particle size is also small, but it is greater than the true solution particles. Filterability. So true solution particle size is very small, so it pass easily through the animal membrane and other filter paper, so we cannot able to filtrate it. Suspension able to pass through animal membrane and filter paper, so we can easily separate by using simple filter paper. By the solvent from solute, we can also separate by the using simple filtration method. And in colloidal solution particles also very small, and it pass simple filter paper, so we cannot able to filter by the simple filter paper. And the appearance, when we make a true solution, it's clear and transparent, and the suspension is from opaque system, we cannot able to see other side of the substance. And then in colloidal translucent type of solution make, so less visible, so other side by this solution we can see the less visibility. So in this way we can differentiate all three type of solution on the basis of these properties. Next topic is how to separate components of mixture. So we can separate heterogeneous mixture into their constituent by means of physical method. So by this filtration, see this picture, heterogeneous mixture we can easily separate by the filtration, hand picking and sieving. So we can easily able to see the different constituent particle in mixture, so easily we can separate the its component by the simple physical methods. But homogeneous mixture we cannot able to separate by this simple physical method, we use the chemical method for the separating homogeneous mixtures. So the homogeneous mixture can be separated from each other by using several techniques like evaporation, centrifugation, sublimation, chromatography and distillation process. So all this process discuss one by one with suitable examples. Let's see. So first chemical method is evaporation. For separating a mixture of non-volatile and volatile substance, we can able to separate by the evaporation process. So in this process, see this activity, how can separate the volatile and non-volatile component. In this activity, take a beaker and fill the half beaker water, and in the above the mouth of beaker place the watch glass, and in watch glass take the ink. And when we provide heat energy, this ink, the solvent is vaporized and the solid particle is formed precipitate, and in this way from the solution dye is precipitate and solvent is vaporized. So the process of conversion of water into water vapor is known as evaporation, and using this technique we can separate the mixture of non-volatile and volatile substance. Its application: separate the colored component from its mixture, and then salt from water and sugar from water we can able to separate by using evaporation method. Next separating method is separating funnel, and by this technique we can able to separate two immiscible liquids. It means those liquid does not completely mix up, for example oil and water. So for separating, see the activity in this is the separating funnel, and take the mixture of immiscible liquids like water and oil, and we see the make a two different layer according to their density, make a two different layer, and using this knob we can separate drop wise, so higher density liquid and the lower density liquid left in the separating funnel. So principle is that miscible liquids separate out in layer depending on their densities. Its application: to separate mixture of oil and water. Next, in the extraction of iron from its ore, the lighter slag is removed from top by the method to leave the molten iron at the bottom of the furnace. So by the in metallurgy process, uh, purification of iron ore, we can use this technique. In purification of iron ore, some impurities in slag form present, and its density is lower, so it float in upper layer, and we can easily skim off from the top layer, and then at bottom higher density molten iron are present, and we can remove by the lower tap. So according to density we can separate both impurities and pure molten iron. Next separating method is sublimation, and by this technique we can able to separate sublimable component from non-sublimable component. So sublimable means when that substance directly convert into solid to gaseous, and gases into solid without going to liquid state, that substance is called sublimable. And non-sublimable are not volatile substance. So for this separation we can do this activity. In this activity, take a watch glass And in watch glass, take a mixture of NaCl, sodium chloride. It is non-volatile substance, non-sublimable substance, and take ammonium chloride, and that is sublimable substance, volatile substance. So take a mixture of NaCl and NH4Cl in this watch glass and cover with inverted funnel, and when we heat provide, the sublimable substance directly converts solid to gases, and this vapor deposit at the wall of the funnel, and this mouth of the funnel covered with a plug of cotton plug, and then this vapor after cooling convert in solid state. So in this way we can able to separate sublimable component from non-sublimable component. So principle, it work in this principle. Sublimation is the transformation of substance from solid phase to gaseous phase without changing into liquid state. So for example, we can able to separate NaCl salt from ammonium chloride.